Grass is always greener on the other side of the septic tank. I think that's one of the many books from Irma Bombeck as the columnist for many decades here in many papers across the country. We want to welcome from the Theater Guild. They are putting on a play about Irma. It's called At Wit's End. Lisa Bender and Mary Allwright. Thank you guys for joining us.
Thank you for being here.
All right. So for folks who may not be familiar, who was Irma Bombeck? I gave a little bit of an intro to her.
Irma Bombeck was the voice of the American suburbs.
Right.
From 1960 into I think the late 80s, in the 90s, yeah. And she wrote a column called At Wit's End, and she was syndicated in like 400 newspapers.
Right.
You know, she once said, I might not have a Pulitzer Prize for my writing, but at least I have all of these things on my refrigerator. Or people have things on my column on the refrigerator.
Well,
right?
she was probably one of the most quotable in that time span, probably one of the most quoted people in the United States. There was always something that she was saying this, I love that kind of thing, right?
Yes.
What are some of them you guys remember? You guys remember some quotes?
I like the name of, my favorite name of her book is All I know about animal behavior, I learned in the Loehmann's dressing room.
That's a great one.
There's a joke about her being in the Loehmann's dressing room where the sales lady approaches her and said, "What size?" And she says, 14, 12, 16, and Irma says, "Yes."
All of those.
Right.
You never know.
You never know what part of your body you need to cover.
Absolutely. So what made you guys, At Wit's End was the name of her column and one of her books, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, correct.
And so you guys decided that we're going to do kind of a play, but it's a three-parter in different stages of her life?
Yes, that's the way the play was written.
Okay.
For the directors, it was a big challenge to have a one-person show and have somebody in the Theater Guild memorize the entire play. The entire play. So we broke it down into 3 different stages of her life. The young housewife that's frenetically running around trying to take care of all of her kids, and then the woman whose kids go off to kindergarten, and she says, "Oh, now what am I going to do?" And she begins her column. She had written some columns earlier in her life, but she started to think about having a much more broad career. And then the third stage, which Mary is the actor in, is her being an activist. She was very active in the Equal Rights Amendment movement.
Okay. So Mary, for your role, first of all, they gave you the old list. That wasn't very nice. But
not really. I volunteered to do it. For me, it's such a beautiful piece. Actually, for all of us, I'm interrupting you. I'm sorry.
No, please.
For all of us, we all had a preference. When she said, "Well, we're going to divide it up," one person said early life, one middle, and I said, "I'll take the end." And it's, for me, it's I'll let you ask your question.
Well, no, tell me. You, tell me.
For me, it's about what a difference she made in the world, and how intense she was, and how vital she was when it came to the Equal Rights Amendment. And it's also very touching because it talks about her demise, you know, and the end of her life, and a lot about her relationship with her husband, which is always touches a chord and is fun, you know.
Do you feel like people had a connection with Irma, even though people who never met her, just because they related so much to what she said, and it kind of like let people talk about things maybe they didn't always talk about, like, oh, she gets it. I thought I was the only one who thought that.
I would say absolutely. Whenever we mention that, you know, we're doing this play about Irma Bombeck, the standard thing is, I loved her. And my mother had all her books.
Absolutely.
Right, so she touched a chord, I think, within people because she was talking about daily life. One line she says, "The only reason I could do this is because I was ordinary." You know, I'm not going to go to the moon. I'm just ordinary. And people could connect with the ordinariness of her.
But that ordinary turned into extraordinary for a sense, because she became like the voice for so many women, especially in the United States, who maybe felt like they didn't have a voice, or they felt so ordinary and no one saw them.
That's right.
Right?
Well, one of the lines, one of my lines, I'll just say,
one of your lines
is women in the 1960s weren't admitting certain things to themselves, and their role, they're supposed to be completely satisfied with their husband and their children, which are wonderful. She loved her husband and she loved her children, but she wasn't really, women weren't really using all their talents, and they were kind of kept a little in the background. And so she stepped out of that, and people identified with that.
And there's certainly a break in terms of what you see in television and ads and those kind of in the 50s and 60s. It was a man coming home to the wife who'd been dutifully doing her chores and taking care of the children all day, and greets him with a martini.
Right. And in a dress, in a waist. Right. It wasn't the time when you put plastic wrap around yourself. When you...
Did you?
No, I didn't. No.
Don't ask me.
I just thought it came into my mind.
No, is this an original from the Village, or is this a play that's been performed before elsewhere?
This is a play that's been performed, as far as I can tell, three other times in small venues. It's never gotten a big stage.
Okay.
It's about a 50-minute play, right? Which is usually what had been done by one person.
Yeah.
What we did by splitting it this way, we've integrated so it's not just a monologue by one Irma, then another and another, but we have people, the Irmas coming in and out on the stage, saying different lines.
Okay.
That reflect their Irma character. So, yeah.
Now, do you guys try to have consistency in terms of tone and delivery between the three actors, or are there changes in between that to kind of like, I want to make sure the character seems steady all the way through?
What's fun about it is, in the beginning, she was like, just this harassed housewife, which those of us who raised kids and maybe stayed home in the 60s, you're busy, you're like, and everybody needs something, and you're kind of, just spending your entire time helping others, serving others, so to speak. And so that's represented by one person. And then when her last child leaves for kindergarten, how she begins to build her career. And so that's a different tone.
That's a very different tone.
And then when you get to the end of her life, where she's an activist and all that, it's a slower tone, it's a more thoughtful look at the world and her life.
It's definitely a bigger picture.
But
so folks, go ahead.
I was just going to say, the consistency though with her is that she's had a lot of tragedies in her life, and she always found the positive side and turned them into humor. So you see that across the three different Irmas that we have.
They always say about comedy, tragedy plus time.
Yeah, you're right. That's right. That's right. So, and she was very brave in the face of some of the adversity that she had to deal with.
Well, folks, the play is going to be one night only, so this is your chance, May 21st over at Clubhouse 5. The show starts at 7. How can people get tickets? Through the Theater Guild website?
Through the Theater Guild website. They can also come to the Clubhouse 5 on May 21st and get a ticket. And be there.
Okay, one night only. You guys, nope, not going to say no other times, maybe? Fingers crossed.
We'll see.
Okay.
We'll see.
We'll see. All right, maybe the show must go on, maybe, with Irma Bombeck and at Wits End. Thank you both for being here. It was fun.
Thank you.
And we're going to be right back with the folks from the Fit Brain Club. Stay with us.